At some point, you need to ask yourself a hard question. Who are you if the thing that you love disappears? Because if that question makes you feel uncomfortable, well, it might be answering something that you've been avoiding. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. If you're new here, my name is Shellda, and I have spent the last 4 years building one of the biggest media brands in paintball. In today's episode, I want to talk about something that I don't think we spend enough time thinking about, especially when we're deep into chasing something that we love. You see, no one really warns you about what happens when the thing that you love slowly becomes the thing that you depend on, not financially, but emotionally, because there's a big difference between being passionate about something and letting that thing become your entire identity, almost like an addiction in a way. And most of us don't realize that it's actually happening until we start to imagine what life would be like without it. You see, for me, that thing was paintball, not just playing it when I was a kid, but building a life around it when I became an adult, creating a brand inside of it, and having it lead to the most success that I've ever had in my life. Letting it define who I was when people asked, "So, what do you do?" For a long time, that felt really good. It gave me purpose, it gave me direction, and it gave me something to point and say, this is exactly who I am. And there's nothing wrong with that. But quietly, without me really starting to notice, something else started to happen. And at some point, I asked myself the question that made me feel really uncomfortable. Who am I if this ends? Not if I choose to walk away from it, but if it were to suddenly disappear, if the opportunities dry up, if all of the attention fades away, if the access goes away, if people stop following me and liking my content on Instagram. And the reason that question bothered me so much was because I didn't immediately have an answer. And sitting in that discomfort told me everything that I needed to know. I wasn't just passionate anymore. I was starting to get attached to it. I was getting addicted to it. My confidence was tied to it. My sense of self-worth was tied to it. My whole entire being was living and dying about paintball. So when things went really well, it felt great. I felt like I was on top of the world. But when things didn't, I felt like I was falling. I felt like I was failing. And that's a real dangerous place to live, where you have these drastic highs and lows. But here's the important thing. This isn't just a paintball thing. It could be a business that you're building. It could be a creative career or a creative endeavor. Maybe it's a different sport that you're playing or a different hobby. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your profession. Or a pretty common one, maybe it's even some of the relationships that you're in. When something becomes your entire identity, you give it way more power than it deserves. Because now, if it struggles, you struggle. If it's criticized, you feel personally attacked. And if it ever ends, you just don't lose a thing, you lose your entire self, your whole value of who you are. And this is really the part that no one talks about. A lot of people love talking about the grind, about grinding in the morning. They love talking about going all in. They love talking about the sacrifice. And I'll be honest, I'm the same way. When I get involved into something, there is no like 1 foot in. When I get into something, I am 110% in. I'm all in on it. But what they don't talk about is what's actually happening when your self-worth gets tied to the outcomes, when your peace depends on external validation, when your sense of value relies on something that you don't fully control. And that's a real fragile way to live, even if it looks successful from the outside. You see, the answer isn't to care less. The answer is to care without disappearing into it, to let something be important in your life without letting it become everything in your life. Because you are more than what you chase. You are more than the results that you get, and you are more than the season that you're currently in. And I think what a lot of people forget when they're in this state is you actually existed before this and you're still going to exist once this is done. That doesn't make you less committed, it makes you more grounded. And when you're more grounded, you can actually start to see things a lot more clear. So if this video made you feel a little uncomfortable, well, that's probably not a bad thing. It usually means that you're chasing something that actually matters to you. Just make sure that you don't hand over your entire identity in the process, because the most important thing you can protect while building something you care about, it's yourself. So if you've ever been in a spot like this, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to learn about you. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.